From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Yimba Umar.
Hello and welcome. Residents of Sabon Tasha and Juji communities in Chukun local government area of Kaduna State protest the abduction of the wife and 2 children of a medical doctor from his residence. Properties estimated at millions of naira destroyed as fire raises Amu Timber Market in the Mushin area of Lagos State. Shop owners and emergency workers disagree on response time. Lassa fever makes its way to Rivers and Kaduna states as Borno and Lagos step up efforts to avert spread of disease. And Chinese President Xi Jinping raises alarm over the spread of the deadly coronavirus, says that his country faces grave situations. Plus, business and sports.
On business news tonight, crude oil market posts the biggest decline in 7 months this week as coronavirus outbreak and demand implications pressure prices.
And on sports news tonight, Nigerian international Kelechi Iheanacho's lone goal sends Leicester through to the FA Cup 5th round.
We begin tonight with the abduction of the wife and 2 children of a medical doctor from their residence in Kaduna today. The incident turned deadly as a member of the security group that responded to the emergency was said to have been killed in the process by the attackers. Following the incident, residents of Sabon Tasha and Juji communities in Chukun local government area of Kaduna State today took to the streets to protest the attack and insecurity in the area. Although the Kaduna State Police Command is yet to speak on the matter, the husband and father of the 3 kidnapped victims is appealing to security agencies to intensify efforts to ensure the release of his loved ones.
In the late hours of Friday, January 24th, 2020, armed men allegedly invaded the home of a medical doctor at Taga Philip in Juji, a community in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State, and abducted his wife and 2 children. An attempt by a local vigilante group in the area to foil the attack led to the killing of one of its members.
I received a distress call from my lovely wife that some unknown persons were breaking through the back fence. So I tried in my own small way to alert the police authority. So unfortunately, by the time I got home, I discovered that my wife and 2 kids have been abducted.
The operation took 3 hours. That is from about 10 o'clock to around 1 a.m. And no resistance from anywhere, apart from the civilian JTM who they are making their own effort. And they need an assistant for them to complement the effort of the security too.
Following the incident, aggrieved residents of Juji and Sabon Tasha communities have taken to the streets to protest against what they describe as a lack of security in spite of the recent spate of kidnapping in the area.
We are crying for the government to come to our aid because enough is enough. They have been killing us like chickens. We don't have any liberty again, living in our comfort zone. No one is living in his house now calling comfort zone.
Residents of Chikun local government area are calling on the federal and state government to put a stop to the security challenges, as they say they can no longer sleep with both eyes closed.
Meanwhile, the family of the slain chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Adamawa State and other residents of Mijika are calling on the government to flush out Boko Haram elements in the Sambisa forest. According to them, if this proves difficult for the security forces, the government should ask for help from other countries to dislodge the insurgents from the area. The people say that they will continue to live in fear until the government steps up the fight against insurgency and restore normalcy in their area.
3 weeks ago, Michika local government area of Adamawa state came under attack by Boko Haram insurgents. The chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Michika, Pastor Lawan Andimi, was kidnapped and eventually murdered by his abductors.
God who make them to take care of me and to live my life will still work, will touch them.
Here at the administrative headquarters of Michika local government, the head pastor of EYN Church and a neighbor to the deceased gives insight into the abduction.
Came to Jesus Junction, maybe the Subaba. They stopped there for a while based on what my God. They stopped there, had some discussions just for a few minutes, and then they left. After they left, my God come back to come and find out whether he's still there so that they will continue with their trip. They couldn't find Baba.
Sympathizers converge at the home of the late pastor to commiserate with the family. 58-year-old Andimi and his wife were married for 34 years and had 9 children and 7 grandchildren. While his second son describes his father's murder as shocking, his wife appeals to the federal government to ensure that the wanton killings of innocent Nigerians are stopped.
I was feeling devastated when I heard such news. I was shocked, and the news come to me as an unexpected. I did not expect such thing to happen to my family.
I'll call on the government to do its best in solving this problem of insecurity so that it does not happen to others, just as it happened to me. We have a very serious problem in this country because our villages and towns are insecure and people are suffering.
Michika is about 200 kilometers away from Yola, the state capital, and about 15 kilometers to Sambisa. It's one of the local government areas alongside Madagali experiencing series of attacks due to their proximity to the Sambisa forest. This has caused fear and tension in the area.
Village markets are not being patronized as usual because people are fearing. People are fearing for their lives and even their economic things. So definitely we have a serious security threat.
Meanwhile, the state governor Umar Finteri visits the headquarters of the EYN Church in Mararaba Mubi to commiserate with the church.
We want to assure you that we'll work with the family and we'll ensure that we'll make or provide some palliative, especially for the children, so that they will grow and study the way their father had expected them to be.
There's an uneasy calm in Michika following this unfortunate incident, but the residents hope that the government will act true to its words and beef up security in their communities.
And here in Lagos, it was also a tale of sadness today as the Amu timber market in the Mushin area of the state was gutted by fire. An incident residents claimed began at about midnight. They were thrown into panic as they woke up to the burning flames. Apart from the market, 2 houses near the market were also caught up in the flames. Our correspondent Eni John Mekwa reports.
The fire at Amu Plank Market in Mushin area of Lagos has been contained, but unfortunately the whole market has been razed. Residents are saying that this is because there was no quick response when the call was made to emergency services. Now, even up till now, the source of the fire cannot be confirmed. It's difficult to place a monetary value to the loss. Traders here say even the number of shops is contendable. However, these were stores and warehouses filled with planks, zincs, keys and other building materials.
I was called upon by 12:30. One of our members called me that all the market is on fire. I said, okay, you should break all the shop that we have our this fire extinguisher. Use it and quench it. They say it's not happened. You cannot quench it. And we need to call firefighter. When they call them, they are not here in time. If they are here in time, this thing will not happen.
I quite disagree with that, because you will discover that one way or the other, the type of materials that we have in here are highly inflammable materials. The type of environment that we are operating in here all over the world, the environment now is highly conducive for fire to spread. However, you can see that this place is densely populated. The way their shores were constructed, they are constructed very close, adjacent to each other, so which allows spread of this fire. Again, some of these shops, they have generators in there, they store petrochemicals.
Unfortunately, incidents of fire at the beginning of the year is becoming constant, and more so in markets.
We are striving hard not to discourage the traders to have individual generators in the markets. So we are still working on that. The sensitization is going on. Now, when you are leaving your market, turn off everything electrical.
Apart from the market, 2 buildings which were used as warehouses were also gutted by the inferno, and the closest buildings have been partially affected. Ini John Mekwa reporting for Channels Television News.
To health matters now. The dreaded Lassa virus appears to be making its way to more states in the country, with Kaduna being the latest to confirm a case in Chukun local government area. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Amina Mohammed Baloni, says that a 35-year-old male patient is being treated at the designated Infectious Disease Control Center in the state capital. She adds that health personnel are stationed at the center to manage cases that may arise. In River State, 57 people are said to be placed under close surveillance by the State Ministry of Health following the death of 3 persons from the virus. One of the victims, a 22-year-old woman, was said to have died at the Irua Specialist Hospital in Edo State while undergoing treatment. Meanwhile, in Borno State, Governor Babagana Zulum has activated a standing emergency response with a call on the health professionals to ensure the full containment of Lassa fever. The governor also directed that special attention be accorded to government-controlled camps and host communities associated with forced migration of internally displaced persons. He also promised to make available whatever was required as part of measures to guarantee the safety of public health across Borno State, while calling on the team to work around the clock and take all measures necessary to ensure maximum control of any disease in the state. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control says that at least 24 deaths have been reported since the beginning of the year, with cases reported in over 10 states. In the meantime, the Lagos State government says that it has set up a biosecurity team which is working to identify any kind of virus like the Lassa fever and coronavirus. The Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, says that isolation wards have been set up by the mainland infectious disease hospital in Yaba to take in any confirmed cases.
If we're ever faced with another Ebola outbreak or a Lassa outbreak or with a coronavirus entry into Lagos, that Lagos is constantly preparing itself, and it's not a matter of reaction to crisis, but a matter of advanced planning and strategic thinking. We've identified where our isolation wards will be, where our quarantine wards will be, and if we have anybody coming into Lagos who is identified as a possible case, they'll be put into quarantine. We will take their samples, we will try and diagnose it, and if we find them to be positive, then they move into isolation. And then we follow their contact tracing. We've set up what we call the Biosecurity Governance Council. This is made up of very eminent Lagosians in academia, in security, in law, and in ethics. And their job is to ensure that Lagos State is continuing to make progress along the lines of biosecurity protection and resilience.
In part 2, after the break, we have more on the Lassa fever and a public health expert, Dr. Oladapo Asiombi, will discuss the issues. Plus, court orders rerun elections conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission in 11 states described as hitch-free. Stay with us.